I'm leader of the Newark and Sherwood District Council. I've been since kind of, after the last local elections. Number of points have been made today. Sorry for standing up on people. A number of points have been made. The District Council are doing other things as well, on top of making our social behaviour team bigger. We've got more community protection officers, being more visible out on the street. We're just about to employ a further 5 housing officers, which you might think is not such a big deal, but we believe, certainly the new administration believes, that more people, more council officers going out, talking to people, engaging with people in their communities, will find out a lot more intelligence, and that's going to push on. So our parks and open spaces teams, they're going to be out there, they're going to have more conversations with local people, so we get a real better understanding of what goes on across our whole community. And it's interesting because Robert's called this meeting to talk about the problems we're having in the market square, around the market, in the town centre. And in a way, our administration have solved some of those problems in the work that the police and the council and the town council have done, and help from our police and crime commissioner. We have been working for the benefit of residents and local people. There are more things that we could do. There are more things that affect it. Things like drug dens being set up. A drug den set up in a community is like dropping an hand grenade, an antisocial behaviour hand grenade, into that community. And it frustrates me. You might not know this, but I work as an antisocial behaviour officer over in a different authority. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing them talking to local people and saying they're dealing drugs at that address, and you knowing as a council officer that property needs closing down, but it takes such a long time. We've got so many loops we've got to run through. So one of the things I'd say to Robert today is we need to look at those powers that councils and police have got so that we can move much quicker. So the latest house I got closed down, it was 3 months. 3 months I went and spoke to local people. They told me what was going on. I went in to see the people doing it. I saw evidence of what it was a drug den, and it still took 3 months to get those people out of that property. In the meantime, their close neighbours were living in hell. And again, you know, we put to victim care. Actually, there's not enough victim care at the moment. So if we're changing that process, we need to have a lot more resources into that. But it isn't just about resources. It is about thinking about your police officers who spend an awful lot of time not on the street because they've got a lot of paperwork to do. We should be, or politicians should be, saying to the police, we want you to get on, and actually we accept that you may make mistakes, but let's start moving faster and doing stuff like that. But what's good tonight is everybody in this room is concerned about antisocial behaviour and about crime. And I think Yvonne was right, reporting that on Facebook, it's not reporting. So many people just come to me and say, well, I've reported it. And I say, well, yeah, we haven't had reports. Well, I put it on Facebook, put it on a community page. That's not reporting antisocial behaviour. It's just as easy to go on the link for the district council or the link for the police than to go on Facebook. Maybe do both, but it's important for us that we get that information. Just one thing about York Drive. I worked with you, Jeanette, 15 years ago. Yeah. I remember going to your predecessor and saying, what are you doing about antisocial behaviour on York Drive? And our predecessor says, there is no antisocial behaviour on York Drive. And I'm going, well, you just walk down the street and you can see the evidence of it. But the reaction was that we'd had no reports of antisocial behaviour on York Drive. And we spent some time working together as a community, and within about 6 months, we got the most number of antisocial behaviour reports, and that gave us enough power to start doing things on York Drive. And it's fair to say, for 4 or 5 years, we turned things around on York Drive. Your new problem, the boarded up houses. The first thing that I did as becoming leader was go over and speak with Irene, speak with Debbie Darby, and then I've gone to these guys about the antisocial behaviour. I've gone to our planning people to say, right, get this scheme moving, because it's not going to go another 5 or 6 years it's going to happen within the next few years, and we've committed the money to it, and it will happen within the next 2 years.
Well, maybe if the
I've stood up and saying it, so you know my
maybe
number.
if all the politicians were less concerned about trees